In this video we're going to drop into a couple of daily race Bs. Let's see how we get on. Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. If this is your first time here and you like watching all sorts of GT Sport related stuff, subscribe now and click that bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. Today's video is the next video in our quest to be the best series, following on from the beginner to winner series where I became an A+ ranked driver. This series follows my journey of pushing on and trying to book my ticket at the 2019 Gran Turismo World Tour. So make sure you stay tuned to the very end of the video to see whether we get any closer to that goal. So, intro over, let's get into it. In this video we're going to cover two daily race Bs which are in Group 3 here at Brands Hatch. Now I'm in the KFC Lexus and I was a bit dubious about whether to enter this, and as we come up here to Druids I'm going to get punted up the backside, and that is exactly why. So the problem with daily race B for me is, especially if you don't qualify well like I haven't done particularly and you find yourself in the mid pack, if anything happens at all you've got very little time to rectify it, so you've got to get a move on. We've only got 6 laps here around Brands Hatch as I get a right load of oversteer coming out of Surtees for the first time, which means I'm going to probably lose a place here to the Frenchman in the 911 as we come down the hill here and through Hawthorns. As I was saying, you've just got no time to rectify it, but also because of this track and how tight and technical it is at this point, I expect to make up a few positions through people making mistakes. So we've dropped 2 places from where we started. We started in 10th place after a very mediocre qualifying session. So we got booted up the backside going into Druids, corner number 2 there, and we lost a place. We also got on the loud pedal too early coming out of Surtees. The car got unsettled, we got a boatload of oversteer and we lost another place. So we find ourselves, as we complete lap number 1, in 12th position. Let's see if we can start making a move on these guys, or if we can start capitalising from people making mistakes. So we're going to fast forward slightly here, and the Brit there has made a mistake and he's going to be our first victim on that front. I'm going to have a look up the inside of the Frenchman. It isn't really a passing opportunity there. I was not close enough. I just wanted to get myself in his mirror, see if we can force a mistake out of him, because as I said before, this is a very technical and very dangerous part of the track that requires loads and loads of concentration, and the last thing you need is someone flashing around in your rear view mirror. Now in terms of aims for this race, as we've known, we've qualified in 10th, so anything above that in such a short race would be of benefit. So if we can do something about these 3 in front and keep the guy behind us behind, I think that will be a success. So coming down into the first corner for the 3rd time here, someone's off into the gravel. The German there is going to get a penalty and lose loads of momentum coming down the hill, so we're actually going to go up from 11th to 9th place. The German there is going to lose another place as the Brit behind follows me through. But if we can hold on to this 9th place or do something about the guy in front, or even just keep it controlled and on track and see if we can benefit from anybody else making a mistake, because there's been an uncharacteristic amount of mistakes at the moment. Normally you see way more around Brands Hatch, so I'm hoping, fingers are crossed, we're going to get a couple more places from people's mistakes, but let's see how we get on. Fast forwarding slightly now as we come into Stirlings, the yellow flags are out, which means good news for us. Here's the Dutchman there, he's made a mistake, there he is in the Mitsubishi. We're going to fly past him and we're making our way slowly up the field. We're now up into 7th. A little bit further on down lap number 4 here, the yellow flags are out, but I don't actually see anything at the moment, which is a bit confusing. But as we come round Surtees here, look to the left and someone, the Brit there, is going to find himself on the grass, and we are now up into 6th. So we're right up now behind the Frenchman in the 911, but keep your eyes in the rear view mirror here, because the Mitsubishi who went off earlier is going to start marching straight up behind us, and we're going to have a problem real soon. So we're coming through this back technical bit of Brands, up through Sheens and down into Sterling here. Two of my favourite corners probably in the world, to be honest. They're really, really good. And now, as I say that, we've got a rear view mirror full of this Mitsubishi, so we're going to go to the inside to defend this, which is going to give him the inside coming down the straight. But I'm hoping the grunt of the Lexus here is going to get us out of trouble. Whilst it's faster in a straight line than the Mitsubishi, as there's contact, he's going to hit us up the backside there. We have to brake a little bit earlier and get on the power a little bit later, because it's a much more, or much less should I say, nimble car. So we're going to do our best to keep him behind us. We've got 2 laps to go here. He's getting pressure himself from the Brit behind, as the 2 in front are distracting me slightly by getting into a battle themselves. But we're going to pull away back down the straight. But I think, to be honest, my defensive driving is going to be tested for the next 1.5 laps. Let's see if we can keep him at bay here. He's right up behind us now. I'm surprised he didn't have a look there. I'm really feeling the pressure at this point, because I don't want to... Oh, is he going to go up the inside there? No, he's not. I'm really quite happy with that, to be honest, because some others would just chuck it up the inside there. As I say, I'm feeling the pressure as we're going to go defensive coming down this part of the track here into the final corner, because I really want to push on with my driver rating and get above where we currently are. And if I don't finish particularly high, especially after the qualifying we had, I think not only are we going to not maintain what we've got, but we're actually going to start to lose it. So we're into the final lap now. The emphasis really is on keeping this guy behind. Is he going to have a look up into here? Nope, he spares us into Druids as well. Coming down the hill here towards Graham Hill Bend, he's too far back to make a move. We're actually closing now on 4th and 5th. Coming down the Cooper Straight here, and this is where it could be problematic for me. I've had a couple of issues before. Do you see that? I just get on the curb there, which unsettles the car, and then I get on the power and I get a boatload of oversteer, which puts me onto the inside bit of grass. I get on the power too much, end up on then the outside bit of grass, and 6th place has gone. So for now, there's no chance of us catching back up to that 6th place unless anyone makes a mistake, which I don't think they're going to do. Well, they might do, but I don't think they will on the final lap, and we've got a good margin, as you can see, to the guys in 8th and 9th behind. So overall, Havre started in 10th place after a pretty poor qualifying session. To come home in 7th place should maintain our DR. So I think we'll escape this one with our tail between our legs, and we will move on to race number 2. So here is our 7th place being confirmed there in the KFC Lexus. As you can see, my door number was number 4, which means I was one of the higher people in the lobby, so I'm not sure finishing in 7th is going to do me any good. But anyway, on to race number 2. Again, we have the same issue because I've qualified in 10th place. I couldn't improve on the qualifying time that I set before, so we could well, as I say, have the same issues as we've had before. But as always, we're going to have the same strategy, which is going to be to take what the race gives us on the first lap, try and stay out of trouble, especially on such a short race as this, where if you go off, as I mentioned before, your SR and your DR will get mullered, and there's no chance of you recovering that in such a short amount of time. And we're just going to see if we can pick off people as and when the opportunity arises and take advantage of other people's mistakes. So coming up to Drew's here for the first time, I'm just going to have a look at the Frenchman here. I'm not going to make a move. I'm going to get real close to him. Thankfully, we didn't get punted up the backside like we did in race number 1, so we're already doing better than we did before. Look up ahead here, Texas Ranger, who we've raced a couple of times before, goes for a spin. I'm not sure what happens there, and as that happens I just outbrake myself down into 30s. There's contact, and I actually make contact, as I say, with the Frenchman who drops down to 9th place. Complete accident. I spoke to him after the race and apologised for that one, but I could see that his race wasn't completely destroyed, and unfortunately it's a mistake that I made. I don't often make mistakes like that, but unfortunately on this occasion I did, so a public apology goes to you, ASP1. Hold my hand up to that one. So we're coming down now into Sterling's for the first time. The Hungarian there made a mistake earlier on. I think he was on pole, correct me if I'm wrong, but we find ourselves all over the back of him. I get a bang from behind, which nobody wants in a Gran Turismo lobby at all, and it looks like we're going to have to run on him here. He's going to take the inside, so I'm going to go to the outside and hoping he's going to brake late, which will give us the opportunity to undercut him. It's gonna, I think, pay off. He's going to go a bit wide, get on the gravel there, which is going to give us the opportunity to go up the inside into Druids. The Brit there forcibly follows us behind. I think he was the same Brit who followed us through on the last race. I'm not quite sure, but I seem to remember a Brit doing that. So if that is the case, then bravo, my friend. Quite the opportunist if you did indeed overtake 2 people after 2 moves that I've made in back-to-back races. As we come across the line now to start lap number 4, we're going to get some serious pressure from the Brit in the 911 behind. He's actually going to go up the inside of us here into Druids, but I'm going to brake a little bit later, go a little wider, try and carry more speed here, because the outside at Druids turns onto the inside here at Graham Hill. So I'm going to have the inside there, so he's not going to be able to make it. So we successfully manage to defend that one. Coming down the Cooper straight here into Surtees. Is he going to make a move? Well, I've opened the door for him. I've gone real wide. You can see I'm onto the marbles there, but managed to carry enough speed out of Surtees down the back straight here towards Hawthorne to keep him at bay for now. But I don't think that is going to be the last we see of him, as we come through way too wide there, end up on the grass, have to get out the throttle to make sure we don't spin, and we're just going to lose the place to Tactical Killer there. So fair play to him. Another opportunist move, to be honest, but I'm going to be looking to have that place back as we get put under pressure slightly from the Frenchman behind. So coming down Clearways here, I'm going to try and get Clark curve correct so I can get plenty of exit speed. He's going to actually go wide and miss the apex down at Clark, which is going to give us the inside run down the Brabham straight here to start lap number 5. We've made the move there. Is the Frenchman going to be able to follow us through? No, not on this occasion, but it's all pretty tight between the 3 of us. He might be able to make the move now. If you look in the rear view, he's going to have the inside into Druids, as somebody's had a bit of a nightmare there. We're now up into 5th, but now we've got the same situation again, but we've got the inside at Graham Hill Bend here, so we managed to keep him at bay for now also. So down into Sterling's again. I don't know why I just can't get into a rhythm around Brands at the moment. I don't know if it's because it's the shorter race or because I'm feeling pressure because I need to keep my A+ rating. I'm not sure, but either way I'm making mistakes I don't normally make, and it's just all a bit sloppy, which is pretty disappointing. But if we can get away with this 5th place, it's still 5 places above from where we qualified. So again, if we can escape 2 of these races with just maintaining our driver rating as we look ahead towards the Nations and the manufacturers races on the weekend, then I will be happy with that. We rejoin the action a lap ahead here, coming down to the final corner, Clark curve. So we're going to come through, we're going to miss the apex slightly, but not too bad. Either way, it's not going to affect us, and we're going to come home to take, after quite a sloppy race to be honest, and a sloppy pair of races, a 5th place. So to add to our 7th place that we got in the first race, we collect our 5th place in this one. We went up in both races, so let's see how it's affected our driver rating. So going into these couple of races, I had 52,508 points, and we've actually gone up a tiny weeny bit, which I will take absolutely to 52,579. Now, whilst they weren't my best, we live to fight another day, and as I say, let's move onwards and upwards as we look towards the nations and manufacturers races coming up this weekend. And that is the end of the video, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.